Hi, today we're making a Brandy tutorial. So, for those of you who don't know what a Brandy is, it is a lovely little something that goes like this. So, as you can see, closely related to the aerial. The biggest thing when people are learning a Brandy, the hard part is that they overthink it way too much. They think it's this really intense, one-footed punch into an X-out D-leg kind of thing. No, you're dumb. You're overthinking everything, making this way harder on yourself than it needs to. It's just a round off with no hands. It's pretty simple. So, you got your cartwheel, and you got your aerial, and then you have your round off, and your Brandy. Brandies are really nice, they're versatile and free running, and they're a lot of fun to just goof around with on a spring floor, because you're coming down 2 foot, you can punch into whatever you want. If you're Velu, or some absolute tank of a beast like that, you can punch off into a double back. If you're a mere mortal like me, you can punch into a sloppy full or something like that, or just spam the back to fronts. Those are always a good time. Yeah, so Brandies, they're great. Also, if you're doing an aerial off of an obstacle, which I encourage, lots of fun, Brandy's the way to go instead of an aerial. Otherwise, you have to get the impact on one leg before going to the other, instead of just coming down 2 at a time. So, actual tips for your Brandy. 2 prereqs you obviously have to have, your aerial and your round off. Because your Brandy, as I said, just round off with no hands. Don't make it into anything harder than that. That's all it is. So, just like your aerial, you want to get a huge kick back here and a big jump off your front leg. But instead of being like your aerial, where you just jump up and this back leg is kind of your main focus, because this is just what you want to be getting back down to the ground. Instead of doing something like that, what you want to do is you want to get that kick, and then you want to get a huge jump off your front leg, but you want to use that to spring this leg up into place beside your front leg. It's not like your round off, where you're up on your hands, so you have time to just go up normally, snap your legs together, and turn around. You have to be quicker than that for a Brandy. And the way to do that is... Anyway, pardon the interruption. So what you want to do is, like I said, you want to use that jump, instead of just for getting height, you want to use that to go up and then snap your legs up into place together. And then, something that's going to come in handy for your Brandy is working your pike. That sounds kind of weird, I know, hear me out on this one. So, your pike, for those of you who don't know, sit down on the ground, reach for your toes, fold yourself in half. Ta-da! And you're thinking, what in the name of Charles Dickens does that have to do with the Brandy? So, I'll explain for you. So, your Brandy, as you recall, goes like this. So, where the pike comes in is once you're upside down and you have brought your legs together, that's going to be when you're roughly vertical up in the air. Right here. And your main job at that point, once those legs are together and you're inverted, really the only thing that matters is getting those legs back down to the ground. So, if you have any experience doing backflips off of obstacles, after a certain point you know that it just becomes jump back, spot the ground, pull my legs there. You're kind of folding yourself in half as you pull your legs over the top. Same thing with your Brandy when you're first getting the hang of it. So if you're not very flexible and you can't really get past here when you're reaching for your toes, basically your only option is to do your Brandy straight. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's good form, but as you probably know from your basic flipping mechanics, duck spins fastest, pike is next fastest, straight is the slowest. And when you're first getting the hang of it, it helps to spin a little faster if you can. That's where the pike comes into play. So, kick up, big jump, get yourself vertical with those legs together, and then bend your legs down so that you can get yourself back down to the ground. And look at that, you're doing Brandy. You're sipping Grand Duke d'Alba being a classy gentleman. Or classy lady. I'm certainly not one to discriminate.